On to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to a show where we're going to be bringing you some positive news. It's rare that we get to do positive shows. We think it is positive anyway. That's, of course, the news that Seamus Coleman signed a new 1 year contract extension, which I think is probably for anyone who's a big fan of Seamus Coleman is, I'm pretty sure, to relieve a moment that his career here isn't going to finish with that horrible injury he suffered against Leicester, which is, that's great news in itself. And just to be able to see him stick around for 1 more year, it's good, but it's also, let's be honest, with the financial state of us, it's probably a necessity as well. Whether we like it or not, he's probably going to have to feature, albeit maybe as a backup. He's probably going to have to feature at some stage again next season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the hope is that he's not going to be needed to sort of run into the ground again like he has done the last few seasons. But just so we can have, at the very least, a nice ending if this is to be his final season. But I feel like I've been saying that for sort of 2 or 3 years now, and he's obviously hung on. So, yeah, positive for me as well. I think because we've lost a lot of leaders in the changing room. Well, I think it's a bit of an intangible. I know some people don't believe in it, but I think we've lost sort of up to half a dozen, I think, already this summer. So to keep a hold of Coleman, and at the very least, we should be able to give him the right send off now, and we can go out. He can go out fighting rather than on a stretch. I think we all thought that was probably his, if not his Everton career over, maybe even his football career. So yeah, good news and something at least sort of semi positive at the very least.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is now for the club, obviously for us as fans, but for him as well, it's about making sure we have a season where its final game isn't another game like that Bournemouth game. I really don't want his final game to end in a relegation or something like that. No, never mind that. Just even to have a final game like that Bournemouth game, even if it is a positive, just we don't want to like his final season to be one of trauma like it has been the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, his Everton career doesn't deserve that, does it? See, some players who've played for us do deserve that kind of
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Don't get me wrong, but
He's
not
one
him.
of he's one of very few, isn't he? Like and you look at this team and it's mad. I mean, I was looking through it last night and like you can make it back for five last season of players from five different managers that have been signed by different coaches at the club. Obviously, Coleman going all the way back to David Moyes. He's certainly for us too. He's like a half back to our childhood and sort of
When
early
we were
teen
actually
years
okay.
sort of times. Yeah, when we enjoyed watching it and we were thinking we'd do all right most seasons. So yeah, no, great news. And obviously as well, I mean, he doesn't strike me as a particularly different character to Leighton Baines. But obviously Baines went out, there were no fans there. No one knew he was retiring at the end of the Bournemouth game. Obviously a different Bournemouth game when they beat us at home, but they still went down. And it just wasn't the right way for his career to end either. So hopefully Seamus can get at least something to say. I don't think it'll be one for a testimonial or one for it all to be about him, but he deserves something if we can't give him something tangible on the
No,
on the
it's
field.
a shame really because we've never really had a testimonial for a lot of these players. Baines didn't have one. I don't think Jack Yelker had one. That's,
Osman, I think, is the last one I can think of having one.
yeah, and that we're talking like that was 2013 or 14. He had that, so we're talking
Mm.
a long time ago since we've last had a player with a testimonial, and I think that's a good indicator of how know these days we don't have a lot of players who stick around for a long time. So we in a way he is kind of one of a kind now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at some of the captains. I think City have had like three captains last 4 seasons, which is insane. Obviously, I know they're very different. They don't really retire players. They kind of let them go before the best years are past, and maybe we haven't been doing that ourselves. But I think Coleman showed, to be fair, back half of the season, he was genuinely quite good. So I think this is also a footballing decision because Nathan Patterson coming through definitely needs, I think, another season of steady progression, staying fit, and he can then just really take over the mantle. You think this coming season or the season after? So yeah, obviously a bit of sentimentality there, but I think it is important that it will help us on the pitch once he's back fit.
I think it's just needed because I don't think we've got the funds, to be honest, to be filling in so many different positions this season. So he's going to have to like, even if he is a backup, it's just we need that cover there. So no, he probably will. probably you will have at some stage have to serve a purpose anyway as a player. So you know,
Yeah,
but
absolutely,
but that
absolutely.
aside, like you say, there's that dressing room element as well, and the sort of leadership role is
Yeah,
that's useful as well.
I mean, I don't think it's like I never really thought about it, but I was speaking to someone a couple of weeks ago who I think who you know could feel that sort of dressing room atmosphere and just thinking like Mina's gone, Begovic is gone, Cody's gone, Davis is gone, Townsend's gone. I don't know how important he is, but obviously an experienced player at the very least. Might be someone I'm missing, but it is just the case that so many of the older players and players who've been there, been there, seen it, done it. Seamus Coleman's under one, and whether they're characters or whether they're genuine leaders, I think it is important to me as well because I think someone like Tarkovsky, who's probably sort of second or third biggest leader on the pitch, it suggests he's only been here 12 months. I feel like we're kind of losing that touch a little bit. So now I think it is good from that perspective. It's something I put a bit of importance on, not the be all and end all, but I think it's definitely a
It
factor.
helps. I think it's especially when like the going gets tough, like it did last season. I think you do need people who are gonna who have been around the block and like have seen things and have that little bit of nous.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and you're hoping that we're going to sign some players you can bring that because I think we're probably going to need it.
And we're absolutely gonna need it. But on this note, I think we'll just finish up. But James Coleman is like, he's a stalwart as well. So like we emphasised it at the start of this one. It's time for him to like have a decent. If this is to be his final season, let's make it a better one.
Yeah, defo. I mean, I don't think anyone's expecting us to win anything this season, but at the very least, if this is to be the last year, as you say, then make it one where at the very, very least the tide turns and he goes out knowing that we're now on the right path rather than just going deeper and deeper into the mess.
Yeah, absolutely. For our sake, and its sake, let's hope that's the case. But we'll leave
Absolutely.
you with that anyway. As like I say, it's a little bit of good news for one. James Coleman signed a new deal. Let us know your opinions on whether it's a good move. Any comments coming in, give the video a like and subscribe for more content. Until then, guys, thanks for tuning in on the Toffee Blues.